Let's do three, two, one, go. All right.
Okay. You gonna
Ready?
say it?
Oh, I think we should say it together.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Ready? Three,
Three,
two,
two,
one,
one,
go.
go.
Hi, I'm Reba,
And I'm Katie, and this is What About Bob's?
a podcast about friendship first,
Then movies.
and if we're lucky, a bob on top. Hi, how are you?
Good. We're not going to talk about the weather this time.
What is there to talk about?
We're
Nothing.
just like quiet. I have nothing else to say.
Nothing.
I'm not. I refuse. How are things going over there?
They're going good. We're busy over here, but good. I wanted to tell you we started watching The Studio on Apple
Yes.
TV because
What
you
do you
had talked
think?
about it before. It's actually pretty funny. We've only watched the first few episodes, but
Okay.
it's really funny, especially since we're like thinking about the behind the scenes of how movies are
Right.
made a
Right.
lot.
And I feel like the pace is so like
Oh yeah.
jazzy. It's just like it's moving so quick all the time. I
It's
don't
really
remember what
silly.
happens in the first two episodes. What are like the major beats on those?
So, what's his name? Oh my God.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen gets promoted to like
Hmm.
director of the studio, but he's torn between wanting to like hire and be friends with auteur directors and like the fancy artsy directors.
Oh,
But the
right.
studio wants them to like do the Kool-Aid Man, use that
Yes,
Kool-Aid Man
right.
IP. So he's trying to get like Scorsese on
Right.
board, but he wants to make what is it, a Jim Jones movie.
Yes. And it's like he has
Is
all
that
these grand ideas, and as soon as he gets the promotion, it's like he is made aware of all of these things that are like the reasons why he can't do
Yes.
anything he wants to
Yes.
do. And
Yeah.
he has already told everyone he's going to do all
Yes.
these amazing.
Exactly. It's silly. I think what's the funniest because it is very like on the nose. Everything's
Mhm.
very like obviously this is a bit. But I think what makes me laugh is like everyone's in on it, like the
Yes.
actors that they
Yeah.
get involved, and Catherine
Oh
O'Hara's
my
in
God,
it.
she's so amazing.
Oh, I didn't
Oh my
know that.
God.
And then we started watching, I was like, oh my heart. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's fantastic.
I think she won a posthumous Emmy for that
Mm.
show, and Seth Rogen went up and accepted it on her behalf and gave like a lovely little speech that's worth looking
Oh.
up on YouTube. He seemed like he really, really loved her. And I love to watch Seth Rogen in distress in anything. It's like so funny to me to
Yes.
watch him just like bumbling around. I feel like he does distress in a really, really great way.
No, it's so good. Yeah. I think it's really cute. It's really
Love
fun.
him. Yeah. Well, I was watching, and then I got Ryan on board with one episode. We're in the throes of the West Wing. There's 7 seasons. We've hit a big snag in season 5 where Aaron Sorkin, who is like the writer
Hmm.
of the whole thing from seasons 1 through 4, left abruptly. And boy, can you tell that the
Oh
writing is
no.
different, and it is so hard to get through now. Like the characters, we love the characters by now, like totally fallen in love with them. But it's like I feel like this is one of the few shows where the writing is like like snagged isn't like a Succession. It's like
Yeah.
it was so like smart and good from the beginning, and then it's just like it just totally fell off into like a regular drama. And so we're like really chipping. I'm like, I'm not going to leave it unfinished. We have to finish it, but it's
You're
been
determined.
really hard. And so I picked up, Ryan was out of town for a couple days, and so I couldn't watch West Wing anyway. So I picked up without him Scandal with Kerry
Oh my
Washington.
God.
Have you ever watched any Scandal?
No.
I've never seen any of it. It's so fun. I was telling Ryan, I was like, I feel like Scandal is the West Wing's like little sister who's like kind of dumb and like a little slutty, but really fun. She's just having fun. And it's been a fun like intersperse it because it's the same environment. It's like the president and his chief of staff and like all these like political DC
Sure.
debacles and like fixers and all these things that go on behind the scenes. But like also people are like hooking up. I never watched like a NCIS or anything, but I imagine it's like an NCIS, like Chicago Blue, Chicago Fire.
Oh,
Like
sure.
I
Yes.
feel like
Yes.
it's maybe like a hint of that, where it's like it's really silly and it's like not at all realistic, but it's very saucy and fun. And so I have been enjoying watching that. Kerry Washington is so pretty and so fun to watch. And her mouth is just always doing the little Kerry Washington mouth because she's got these big lips, these perfect little teeth. And it's like, does she have a lisp? She kind of has a lisp, but it's like very endearing. And I love her. And the president, who she and the president are like, I think they might be in love in real life. It seems like.
Who
You
plays the president?
can't fake that kind of chemistry. I forget his name, but I was thinking that it was he's like a guy in his 50s who I would be like, that man is not hot, but the way he's playing this president is pretty hot. And like he's so down bad for Kerry Washington. He's like obsessed. It's like he's in love with her and she's like, "No, you're married, you're the president." But I was telling Ryan, I was like, I think it might be the guy. I haven't seen this movie in forever, but I think it might be the friend from Ghost, with Patrick Swayze.
I haven't seen Ghost.
You've never seen Ghost?
I only know it, yeah, as a cultural reference.
Should we add it?
We might need to add it, yeah.
There's a friend who, and I haven't seen it in like decades, so I don't really remember, but I remember the friend. It's like Patrick Swayze's friend. And he's like kind of bad, but he's like around after Patrick Swayze dies. And then I was telling Ryan, I was like, I remember being scared of this actor when I was young, when I watched it, and thinking he was really scary looking. And then I looked him up and I was like, no, he looks the same. He's not really scary looking. I think it was just like scary. He kind of looks like an old Tom Holland,
Okay.
if you can imagine, just like a plain white man.
Yes.
But like there's something there. He's got something.
A plain white man.
Nondescript white man, but it's enough for Zendaya. So that's all that's new over here.
Just watching shows.
Just watching shows.
Getting ready for summer.
Mm-hmm.
And watching movies for the podcast.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of Seth Rogen, I feel like this is kind of a stoner comedy, a little
Yes.
bit.
It is a stoner comedy. Absolutely.
It's like this is like kind of violent and like dark, but also really funny.
Also just literally a stoner comedy.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. No, it's excellent. We had a lot of fun with this. I'm so excited to talk about it. Katie, you told me that you watched a little documentary about it as well after we watched it.
Yes.
So you have some extra insight. You
I
can
do.
enlighten me and the rest of the listeners, the watchers, about this movie because it was so much fun, but again, so of its time in some ways and so timeless in other ways.
Mhm.
And we had a lot of fun. It's very silly, very funny, but it is making some hard-hitting points, I'd say, at the
Making
same
some points.
time.
Did we say what it is?
No, we haven't. We watched and we are talking about the movie 9 to 5. This came out in 1980, I believe.
Mhm.
It was directed by Colin Higgins and written by both Patricia Resnick and Colin Higgins. But I think the original story came from Patricia Resnick, as far as I'm aware, who went on to work in some like iconic TV production, I guess, too. Like she did Mad Men eventually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Or like was a producer somehow involved with that. So yeah, big names in this movie. One of the reasons we wanted to see it was Jane Fonda's in it, as well as Lily Tomlin and Dolly Parton.
Oh, the Trinity.
And what a-
the Holy Trinity. In my notes, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Dolly Parton, and Dabney Coleman as the man. There's a man in this.
There's a man in this. And it's funnily like this, like a feminist comedy, right? I guess like the question of whether it would pass the Bechdel test. They are talking about the man quite a lot, but
They
in the
are.
funniest ways.
Yeah. I'm like, would these ladies be friends without the man? It doesn't really matter because I feel like that's like what work friendships are. It's like you're brought together by work and like, who cares? You're work friends.
Your work
And
friends.
those can last. I have two of my closest friends I met working at a restaurant, and like we still love to talk about working
You
in a
and I.
restaurant.
You and I met because of work,
That's true. You are also my work friend. That's crazy.
which
Are
is
all
so
my friends work
crazy.
friends?
We only have work
Do I not know how
friends.
to make friends outside of work?
Wait a second.
Wait a second. One thing I did learn in the documentary you mentioned that I watched that's called Still Working 9 to 5 is what it's called. It's streaming for free on Tubi if you have the Tubi app, which apparently I do because I clicked the link on Google and it opened the Tubi app in my phone and just started playing. I was like, oh. The studio was looking for like a big name for the male lead, and they purposefully cast a TV actor as the male lead because they wanted the women to be like to carry the movie and to like be at the forefront, which is very cool. And yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about before we started. Like this movie is so good and so fun to watch on its own, but I feel like we were both having to find our footing a little bit with like the tone. Like the tone felt a little like, is this funny or is this serious? Or like it's kind of dark, but then it's like so silly and like a struggling. It was so different than I was
Yeah.
expecting. And I feel like the documentary lends, if you are younger than these women, it lends a really great perspective to like what was happening culturally. And this movie is like a direct like call and response to what was happening culturally with like feminism. I think we're in like second wave feminism at this point. In the documentary, it said that in the late 70s, there was backlash. So this was made in, yeah, 1980. And in the late 70s, there was backlash against the women's movement, and feminism had become a dirty word. But as we know, our girl Jane Fonda is like at the forefront of every fight, basically. And so I learned that the 9 to 5 Association of Working Women was the name of a real organization of women at the time that were looking for equal pay for equal work, founded in 1973 in Boston. And at the time, the average pay for women doing the same job as men they were making less than 60 cents on the dollar for the same job. Gosh, it's so hard because so many of women's issues are like marred with like negativity from like the press or like other like powerful men's agendas or whatever. But I was gonna equate this to like a Me Too movement maybe, but I feel like that has been like taken on this whole like negative, like what women's movement hasn't taken on like a negative
Right.
coloring from people like disparaging it. But yeah, it was apparently Jane Fonda was like spearheading the making of this whole movie, like from the beginning. And she and the producer, whose name is Bruce Gilbert, they had worked together on several projects that were like social films disguised as something else. So one of those is called The China Syndrome, which is about the dangers of nuclear war, and one of them was Coming Home, which is a movie about the effects of the Vietnam War. And so they wanted to make a movie about what was going on with like the equal pay for equal work movement, but they didn't think a drama would get watched at all. And so they were like, we need to like wrap this in peanut butter a little bit and like make it fun. And so they cast this movie before anything was written. So Jane Fonda was like, well, I'll be in it. And she went to see Lily Tomlin perform at like a stand-up show or whatever. I was like, I love Lily Tomlin. Like they met backstage, they hit it off. She was like, she would be so great. And then driving home from Lily Tomlin's show, she was like, and this is a true story in the documentary. She was like, I had on the radio and Dolly Parton was on the radio. And she said, she's never been in a movie before, but I bet she can be herself on camera. And herself is so multi-layered and interesting that could be just fine. And so she was like, okay, we'll get these gals. And of course, it was like not that simple. Like they went back and forth.
Sure.
And Lily Tomlin thought it was like a little too silly at first and turned it down originally. And Dolly Parton was a little worried about people, especially like in the South, giving her shit for like working with Jane Fonda, who was like a big pot stirrer at the time. But she was like, I stay out of politics, but I've been singing about like women's issues since the beginning. So like this spoke to my heart, and her only condition was that she would get to write and sing the theme song.
Icons.
Icon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they cast the movie before they wrote it. Jane Fonda and Bruce Gilbert had a commitment to hiring a diverse, I guess for the time, supporting cast, which I did notice like the two secretaries that are not the three of them that get like more screen time
Yeah.
are not white, which is interesting choice for the time, I guess. And it started as a very dark comedy, I guess, where it was written by the female writer you mentioned, which I don't have her name down. But it was just
By
like them
Patricia Resnick.
Patricia Resnick. It was like them actually trying to kill him in the beginning. And they were like, we need to make this a little bit easier for audiences to swallow. And especially we need to make this so that men will team up with women against the central male character. And so that's where the director, Colin Higgins, came in. And I think some of the sillier stuff that you and I were like, what is this? Like some of the like fantasy sequences and stuff, like that was him. And apparently audiences, and in particular male audiences, like ate that up at the time. They were like, that's the stuff that Lily Tomlin was like, this is too goofy. And they were like, no, like male audiences thought it was terrific. And so like they just needed it to be just goofy enough that guys wouldn't get mad watching it, and they would be like rooting for the three girls.
Yeah.
So,
Which,
yeah,
whatever it takes.
whatever it takes.
I feel like Barbie, the Barbie movie had a little bit of that like eased back from what I understand too, to like be a little more like generally palatable.
Yeah, I feel like the Will Ferrell character in Barbie was maybe like this, where it was like so that people could go see it like with their kids, and it's like there's a funny bad guy.
Yeah. And it's
not-
like everyone liked Barbie. You know what I mean? When you've like gone way further down in your your studies of feminism and other like social movements, it feels like easy. Is the best word I can come up with. When you're watching it and you're like, well, yeah, but for like my parents,
Right. And is that like more important than making it exactly what you wanted to make it?
Yeah.
And I guess since they like set out wanting to make like a social comedy movie, then yeah, like they just wanted the message to like get into people's
people to go
eyeballs.
see the movie, see it get more reach.
Yeah. And this movie was like hugely, hugely successful too. Like it came out, I guess, in December of 1980, and it was just behind The Empire Strikes Back, the top grossing movie of that year. So it did well. It did the trick, and people loved it. So
That's so funny.
I know. Also, the costumes, they worked with Anne Roth, who worked with Jane Fonda on Clute.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
And I think Jane Fonda wore the Clute dress to the premiere of this movie, the like black sequin.
The black sequin.
How could you not? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so fun because we were saying every time somebody came in with a costume change, we were just like, okay, amazing.
The costumes are so
Look at
fun. They do such a great job of making them all look like so like real women and like multidimensional, and they're not all the same. They're not all like carbon copies of each other.
No.
And they have their own personalities. These three women have really got it. The X factor.
They do.
They're so magnetic. I feel like Lily Tomlin is so funny to me. Like everything she does is so funny to me. And Jane Fonda is just like an absolute badass. She is that bitch. And Dolly Parton, her first movie, You Could Have Fooled Me. She's so good and cute
She's
in this.
so cute. Oh, she's a delight.
Just
Love.
so charming. That's all I have for pre-notes. Oh, except for Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda then went on many, many years later to be in, are you familiar with the Netflix series Grace and Frankie?
Yes.
I never watched it. My
Yes.
mom is obsessed
Yeah,
with it.
I've never seen it, but yeah, I think
And they
an older
met
generation of women love it.
doing
Yeah.
this movie. Yeah,
That's so
they're
fun.
still friends.
I don't think I put that together that they're the ones in that
I
show.
didn't either, but yeah, they're still great
Oh,
friends.
that's
And I
cute.
also found out recently, unrelated, that Lily Tomlin is the voice of Miss Frizzle.
I didn't know that. But
I
now
had
I'm like,
no
yeah,
idea. Which of course it is.
of
Like,
course it's Lily Tomlin.
oh my
Oh,
God.
what a gem.
What
How lucky
a
are we
gem. How lucky are we, truly?
to have her? That's so fun.
But
Wow.
that's our little preamble.
Okay, so
get
let's
on
get into it. Yeah. We open with the iconic 9 to 5 theme song by Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
So she wrote that. This was part of, you said this was her condition that she needed to write and sing the theme song. And it is fabulous. We all know it.
Yes.
If you've never seen the movie, you know the song. I have in my notes. The past few movies, we've been introduced to the movie's themes or what to look out for in the storyline through either a scroll of text, like in Legend, or a narrator introduction, like
Yes.
in like in The Green Knight. But in this movie, we get Dolly Parton telling us what's what in the modern workplace. And she hit every issue that they bring up. God, I don't want to read the whole thing, but I'll pull up a few iconic lines. The chorus, we get working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by, it's all taken and no given. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it.
Oh,
It's a rich man's game, no matter what they call it, and you spend your life putting money in his wallet.
oh, preach.
Yeah, there's some good lines in here. It's a great song. It's so catchy. It has the kind of alarm bell like ringing at the beginning of the song and has that jaunty marching tempo to it, but that's what introduces us to the movie. We get a little montage of people waking up, turning off their alarm clocks, getting ready to go to work. You get a little shots of people hurrying off to work, worrying about getting to work by 9, checking their watches.
I loved this montage.
It's so cute. We see this one woman getting a coffee, but she doesn't have time to enjoy it because, she looks at the city clock, has to look at her
gotta
watch
go.
to see if it's right, and spills her coffee on her clothes, her shoes. She's stomping off in her pumps.
Everyone's in pumps. Wall-to-wall pumps.
Everyone's in pumps. Everyone's in pencil skirts with matching suit jackets. I was wondering, is there a phrase? There's like the pantsuit.
Yeah, I don't know. The skirt suit?
Is it skirt suit?
I don't know either. I've always wondered that every time I say skirt. I say skirt suit, and every time I'm like, is that what it's called?
We'll refer to it as a skirt suit because I was like making notes and I was like, a matching set.
It's like pencil skirt and a blazer.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Every woman in this movie has some sort of matching ensemble like that when they're wearing their like office clothes. Except for Dolly Parton has her own like
Oh, Lord.
her own wardrobe
A
style.
suede fringe.
Oh, she's amazing. It's so
die
cute.
for.
Yeah, everyone's out and about. We're in a big city. I don't know where. Maybe Texas? Is that-
It's filmed in Los Angeles. Is where it's filmed. I don't know where the story takes place though.
The story takes place in some open carry state. Because,
However, it was filmed in Los Angeles, but I did read that a lot of the intro was filmed in San Francisco. So,
okay.
But yeah, I don't know if it says. It feels southern.
It feels southern. Again, an open carry state
It is
because
an open carry state.
we have a gun being taken to work in a purse.
Very casually, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, it just feels very, maybe it's just the Dolly Parton.
Was everywhere open carry back then in 1980?
I don't know. I'm making an assumption here that like not every state just lets you.
Say Texas. It takes place in Texas.
Yeah. And then we see our first main character, played by Jane Fonda. We have Judy Burnley walk into the screen. She's also on her way to work. She's looking down at a pad of paper, the address on it, trying to make sure she goes to the right building. She is wearing a skirt suit, and it has a bright blue floral pattern on it. She's this chic little like round hat with a brim and a bow, and it matches her handbag. Like they're color coordinated. She's this like gorgeous blouse on under the jacket with like a bow at the
There's
neck.
lots of blouses that have the bow attached
Yeah.
to like a silk bow in the front.
Yeah, so cute. And then those big like glasses, the big frames. She has like a beaded.
Yeah,
to the-
you can take them off and just
You can
place
take them off
down
and
here.
sit them down. Yeah, she does. She has a little bit of glasses acting, I feel like, in this.
I feel like
in
she's
this
meant
movie.
to, the glasses act. I feel like she's meant to look a little more dated than the other ladies
Yeah.
in this, right? Like she's not.
She's a little
like,
more
new for
sheltered.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. So different from her character in Clute, who's
Yeah.
so street
Oh my
smart and
God.
so savvy. This character is like kind of a little bit nervous. It's her first day of work. Oh my gosh. She looks up though and she sees her big glass skyscraper office building that she's about to go.
We also have like a poofy permed.
Yeah.
Everyone has a poofy permed.
A poofy permed something or other. We get a great look at her in her outfit as elevator's doors open and she steps into her first day at work, almost getting crushed by the elevator doors because she, oh my goodness, this is my floor, oh my gosh, and like sticks her arm out just in time, gets through, has to shake that off. Things are off to a crazy start. And then we learn a little bit about Lily Tomlin's character. We could do a little cut over to be introduced to Violet Newstead.
Oh.
And she's been assigned to supervise Judy. Is that her name? Yeah.
Yes.
Judy. She's unsure. Do I really have to supervise this girl? She's never
She, like,
had a
doesn't
job
have time
before.
for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna have to train this new person who's never had job experience. The guy who's like handing out the assignment or talking to her about it says, well, she needs this job because she just got divorced. And then Violet counters that by saying, well, what am I? I'm a widow. I have 4 kids. Could have just gotten a divorce. That would have clearly like set her up better if she was a divorcee rather than a widow.
Yes. Violet's very like dry and like
Yeah.
sassy.
Yes. And her aesthetic, she wears like an office kimono. Like
An
she
office
will-
kimono is exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
That's like what it is. She'll come in with her suit jacket. She'll put on her suit jackets for like meetings in Mr. Hart's office. But when she is working and sitting down, she will put on her office kimono.
It's very modern, very cool.
And then we have the meeting of the two. So she looks over as Judy walks in, and she clearly, this is the woman who's starting today. She looks all frazzled. She's in this outfit that Violet clearly thinks is a little bit silly and goes, is that her? We're going to need a special locker for that hat. But the thing about Violet is she has these she has these like dry comments and observations about people, but she's not judgmental whatsoever.
No.
She's so cool. Then Violet grabs Judy and says, hi, let me give you a tour around the office. They run into this like mailroom guy, this guy that works downstairs in
Yeah.
the mailroom, and they are familiar with each other, are friends at the office. This is Violet and this guy, and he asks her about her promotion. She says like, well, I haven't heard anything yet, but I'll let you know. And then she says, this is Judy. She's new. This is our new hire. This is her first day. And he's shocked. How am I going to get out of mailroom hell if they keep hiring from the outside? Which is like such a timeless issue. I know so many people like deal with. On his way out, he says, Judy, you're gonna hate it here. And so we're starting to hear from these other employees negative commentary about the office. But yeah, Violet's been apparently working there for 12 years. She's trained a lot of people. She knows everything. And she's kind of stuck in her position. Judy is a bit intimidated by this. She's like, wow, 12 years. I've only ever been a housewife. She wants to talk about her salary, and Violet kind of shuts it down and is like, that's just really touchy. You're going to have to talk about it with our boss. It's something we don't talk about here.
Yeah, I think she says it's policy not to discuss it
Yeah.
with other people.
Yeah. People don't talk about salary, like, in general still.
Yeah. Keeping people happy with receiving less
Keeping-
because they don't know they're
'cause
receiving
they
less.
don't know. Which is crazy that movement was kind of rumbling in the 70s, and it's still so many of these things are just timeless, everyday issues that people still deal with.
Yeah, it was like hearing men, I mean, they're probably almost dead now because it was like middle-aged men
Sure.
in the documentary. But it was men being like, yeah, I just like don't, I'd rather have a man have a job because then I can trust that he's gonna like do it right. And it's like speaking like full-chested with these opinions, like it's so crazy. And it's like, yeah, I feel like now they at least have like the smarts to keep those opinions mostly private, but like they're still there. Like there's
Yeah.
prejudices and like, well, I trust a male pilot more than I trust a female pilot.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy.
Yeah.
How
We're
long
not-
this
we're
has
not
been
out of
going
it.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole beginning kind of did remind me when we were working together, you had already been working at the company for a while. And I remember you and you weren't my supervisor and we didn't work in the same division. But at that job, sometimes we were doing stuff that was just like not in our job
Very,
description.
very beneath us.
And I got assigned to do some tasks that you had been assigned previously to do. And I remember they were like, Katie, can you show Reba how to do this or that or whatever? And I remember you were so nice to me though. Like you were such a sweetheart, and it was like made it all the easier to get to know people. Like you and Amy were some of my first friends, like because I was one of the only young designers. So I
Yeah.
didn't have like anyone my age or level, and so I just ended up starting to hang out with your division a lot more
Yeah.
because I got along with you guys, and I was just like,
And you're being so polite, but I know exactly the tasks you're
Yeah.
referring to.
yeah.
It was very in this vein of this movie.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so we had a little bit of this where because it kind of was like that. It was like, hey, let's do our tasks,
Yeah.
and then we'd be like in the car, and you'd be like, so just so you know, like we had a little bit of like just a little bit of office politics. Like, let me give you the lowdown while we're in private.
You're gonna hate it.
Violet says, welcome to the front lines. And we kind of get a scan of the office. I mean, the sets are really fun. I love like sets that are so of the time they're
Yeah.
set in, like with the aesthetics of the furniture and everything. But we get this very
It looks like the Severance office, I feel like.
gray and white tones, pretty sterile, pretty bland. All of the desks, it's like an open concept office where all the secretaries and the stenographers and stuff, they're all in this room together. And they all have the same desk that are identical with like everything on the desk is placed in the exact same position. So it's just this repetitive rows and rows of desks. As Violet's giving this tour, showing her around, they get ambushed by a woman who Violet says, oh, here comes General Patton. And she's referring to Roz Keith, who is Mr. Hart's administrative assistant. She's got also matching blazer skirt suit situation. Bland gray with like a off-white shirt, and she has this pen always attached to her. There's a button with a pen on her lapel, this like little button. The pen hangs down, and then when she pulls the pen out. It's on a retractable string, and she can like take her notes right there. She's like always taking notes, always reading off her notes.
And what about the Bob?
I'm so glad you asked. We'd normally say that Bobs have more fun, but in this case, we don't think Roz and her Bob know what fun is.
Where are you going?
I need a drink, Roz. I'm taking the rest of the day off.
It's more of a long bob, a lob. It's gray, but I'd say it's pretty. Like it's a very natural, pretty gray tone with like lighter pieces in it. She's little bangs, and the bob stops just above her shoulders, and it is perfectly smooth. It is immovable, perfect.
Impeccable.
And I feel like somebody's hair that is that perfect. You can't trust them. There's something there.
Roz is the business bitch, and she
Yes.
has not a hair out of place, just as she likes it. I feel like this is maybe the closest so far we've seen to like the Bob that I had in like third and fourth grade. In terms of severity, it was like a just above shoulder length,
Yeah.
straight, and then like straight bangs.
Yep.
Everything is
Perfectly.
charcoal. It's a charcoal
Yes.
bob, a charcoal skirt suit. It's business. It's very utilitarian.
Yes.
And her name is Roz, which I love.
Roz. Roz with her lapel pen retractable. thing.
Retractable.
Yeah. But yeah, we get ambushed by
Roz is
Roz.
not one of the gals.
She is not the coworker you become lifelong friends with.
No.
No. We can tell Violet does not want to talk to this woman. And for good reason. Roz comes in saying, Violet, you've become lax with your section's desk decorations. We have stuff all over them, coffee cups, and they're personal items. You know we're not supposed to have those. Violet, goes into her, yes, ma'am, okay, oh, really, kind of mode, because this is her trying to keep her job. And then they both repeat a motto that apparently comes from the top, or at least from Hart. I think they say that he always says this, that an office that looks efficient is efficient. So that is why the office looks the way it is.
I feel like Roz says it and Violet kind of just mouths it like she knew that's what she was going to say.
Yeah,
She says it
exactly.
so much and just kind of off to the side, is miming her.
Exactly.
Love it.
Roz is so far been the only cheery person. Everyone else has been warning Judy of how much she's going to hate this office. And then as they leave Roz, we learn that Roz is the eyes, ears, throat of Mr. Hart. Anything she hears, he hears. So Violet is you got to be real careful what you say around her. And Judy goes, oh, so she's like the office spy. Violet's like, well, don't say that, but make sure to check for feet in the bathroom stalls of the ladies' room. That's her warning. And we need to pay attention to that because that comes in later. Violet continues, she's the senior supervisor, and their boss, Mr. Hart, has just become the vice president. And she makes a comment which is heartbreaking. That to become vice president, Mr. Hart leapfrogged very fast to the top. And she says, I have the bad back to prove it, because she trained him over 5 years ago or something like that. He is just leapfrogged over her. But now it's time to meet Mr. Hart. She removes the kimono, puts on her houndstooth suit jacket with there's
this time.
cherries,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's
She has
so
a
now
lot of
she's-
really great accessories
Yes.
too.
Great accessories. She looks awesome. And then we meet Mr. Hart. Mr. Franklin Hart, the man, played by Dabney Coleman. We meet him as he's talking about how he would describe his office. He would describe it in one word as teamwork. And then he goes on a little monologue about how girls don't really know anything about sports. Really a shame. They would probably know more about teamwork had they played any sports.
Yeah.
Then he talks about how Judy looks. He says she's so pretty, so much prettier than some of the crones they've been hiring lately. And he says, right, to Violet to kind of get her to join in, and she does not say anything. She gives him the most like disdainful look. She knows where her line is. I love that about her. Like she will play nice, but then she has a line where she's like, I'm
I
not
really
going
loved
there.
that too. And like in it, like pushing back, I feel like she pushed
Yes.
back a lot more than I was expecting, and I really liked that too about her character.
Speaking of pushing back, he asks Violet if she will pick out a scarf that he can gift to his wife later that day. She says, "No, I've told you I don't think it's appropriate for me to buy gifts for your wife to do that. That's not my job." And he ends up manipulating her into saying yes because he's like, I just talked about teamwork. Doesn't sound like you're being much of a team player. You'd think someone who's looking for a promotion might be a little more willing to help out around here, something like that. It's just a terrible thing to say. So she agrees, and then he asks if Dora Lee is back, and she's not yet, which means, Violet, can you get me a coffee? That's what happens. When Dora Lee isn't back yet, he immediately asks Violet if she'll grab him a coffee, which is, again, not her job. But she's already said yes to the scarf thing, so she says, okay, I got you. And then he goes, just a little Skinny and Sweet, which we learn Skinny and Sweet. I don't know if that's like an actual brand, but in this movie, it's like
I think it's supposed to be like sweet and low,
Yeah. It's like a
like a
yeah,
faux
exactly.
sweetener.
That he likes in his coffee. And as they're leaving the office, Judy sees there's a deer head mounted on the wall. And we learn that Mr. Hart is a hunter. And that was a lucky shot he got once. And it's his prized trophy deer head that he has there. And then we meet Dora Lee, played by Dolly Parton. And she just comes in radiant, glowing, smiling, just bright. She's just a doll. She comes in adorable. Her hair is permed.
It's like
Peroxide
teased up.
blonde.
It's always in a different shape, but I feel like when we first see her, it's like a very round,
Like a beehive kind
like
of
beehive.
thing.
Yeah, she is just like a little ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
So cute. She's like wearing a dress that's like a full flouncy skirt. She has like a little bolero, like a little like green sequin little jacket thing on her shoulders. And she's just come back and she's just the nicest to Judy. Oh my goodness, you're new. Well, let me know if you need anything. I'm real friendly. We learned through like some of the other women talking later that a lot of the women have been hearing that Dora Lee is sleeping with Mr. Hart, that they're having an affair together. And when Judy hears this, she's a bit pearl clutching because that's what happened to her marriage. Her husband and his secretary were having an affair, and that's why he left her. So she talks a little bit to Violet about that, and Violet's like, he'll never leave his wife. She just adores him too much, and they're just like, they're whatever they have going on.
Yeah, I think she's like, she's an idiot. She adores him. Like,
So then we cut back to what's going on with Hart and Dora Lee, what's actually going on, because he calls her in for a meeting. And before this, he set up this elaborate scheme so that he can, push his pens off the edge of the desk. I was like, what is he doing? And then as soon as I saw it happen, I swear this entire scene, I was just like mouth open, but covered by my hands because I was so just appalled.
horrified.
Yeah, it was horrifying. So yes, it begins with him shoving his pens off the desk so that she will bend over and pick them up for him. He stands up. He's looking over the top of his desk down at her. Oh, he's also asked her to like kind of turn so he can see her.
Oh yeah,
from
let's get a
different
look at that
angles.
outfit.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, is there a stain?" He's like, "No, it's perfect. Nothing's wrong. It's absolutely perfect."
Like she knows what he's up to, but she's like handling herself.
Yeah.
I feel, pretty well.
She plays
Like she's dealt with this before, like a bartender or something.
Yeah. He starts apologizing for past inappropriate behaviors, which is like, oh God. They talk about a misunderstanding about a conference in San Francisco, and she says something cheeky like, oh yeah, not a problem. Yeah, I guess just next time, let's be sure that there actually is a conference in San Francisco before I go all the way out there. So it's like they're alluding to some like stuff he's already done. And then he says, I want you to know that I think of you more than just a dumb secretary.
Woof.
Says, I have something for you, and he gives her a scarf, which is the scarf that previously Violet picked out that he was supposed to give to his wife. Yeah, it was just compounded on the terribleness. And then he says to her that he can write her a check for whatever she wants. Like, this scarf is barely, a drop in the bucket. He's a very rich man. And she says a very delightful comeback by, oh, I can do that myself. I could sign your checks. I already do that. Because that's like part of her job is to just sign his signature for stuff, which is
right.
She knows
his signature.
But we all know what he's talking about here. He explicitly starts bringing up starting an affair with her because she is not giving anything at all. And she immediately says, no, of course not. I'm a married woman. You're married. And he says, well, that's why it's perfect. She's not having it. This is like, okay, she's over it now. She's had enough. So she stands up. She's getting ready to leave the office. And he grabs her as she's standing up and pulls her down to the floor with him. Oh, it's so awful. Tells her that he wants her so much. She disentangles herself and gets up just in time because his wife walks in. He's on the floor. He's pretending, oh my, I just fell. Like, I just hit my, I ran into the coffee table. I fell. Clumsy me. And the wife is so oblivious to like any
huge fur coat.
Yes, you're right. She's in this giant fur coat, Louis Vuitton bag. She's clearly like benefiting
but like
from
really
this marriage.
Nice. Like she's like, honey, what happened?
It's so funny. I'm like, I don't know what, like, the point for her was just to be oblivious but like nice to everybody.
Yeah,
just,
it's
like,
a really interesting character.
Yeah, she's like non-confrontational.
So I think Violet says that like she comes from money, right?
She says something about like, yeah, she's been a good meal ticket for him.
So he'll never leave her because she's an idiot and she's obsessed with him, and also
That's right.
she has money.
Yeah, so they're just locked in this thing, and she doesn't really care because he's super rude to her. Yeah. By the way, he's like, why'd you come in here? I tell you not to come and visit me at work without letting me know. And all
when he's like rolling around with his secretary on the ground when she walks in.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you here? Awful. I told you not to come.
I told you not to come here. But she's like, oh, worried. Oh, honey, are you okay? Good thing Dora Lee's here. She's so good to you. And she comments that she sees the scarf and she's like, it's a beautiful scarf. And she's like, Dora Lee's like, thank you. Your husband gave it to me.
Which I loved too, that like there are no secrets here. She's like, oh, thank you. Your husband just gave it to me just now. Like, I love
By the way,
oh, he's so thoughtful.
Since we're talking, exactly. And the wife's like, oh, well, you're just so good to him. I'm so glad he shows you appreciation. You're just the greatest. It's so bizarre. She drops some information about how she's planning a cruise for them. She has some brochures there, and they're going to be gone for 4 weeks. And he is not okay with that. He's like, 4 weeks? Are you crazy? I can't be gone for that long. They're going to have to solve that. But then we cut to Judy learning how to use the Xerox machine. Quick little lesson on how to do it from Violet, but soon enough, the Xerox machine starts like getting out of control. The papers are in multiple colors for some reason. I don't know what's happening. It's very stressful. This machine is giant. It's just rushing these papers out. They're like pushing them everywhere.
Slots and also like shooting them out. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Mr. Hart is the person that sees her doing this, and he comes in, yells at her, shuts the thing off, is like, what's happening, berates her, and says, a moron could figure it out, so you better figure it out before your first day becomes your last day. And leaves her there, and she's like, okay, I'll figure it out. I promise I know how to do it now. And she just has the saddest little face. That crying at work face.
Oh, God. It's real.
Oh, it's real. It's a real experience. Oh, poor thing. So her first day, leave her alone.
I know.
And if that's not enough, she ends her first day by returning home and is greeted by her husband who is giving her the divorce paperwork that she needs to finish signing. Next, we learn a little bit more about Violet's like life at work and what she's having to deal with. We can see she's a really hard worker. She's like picking up the phone, taking care of multiple issues at once, and we know she has 4 kids and she's all on her own, and so at some point her kids call and she figures out some sort of issue they're having and hangs up, something about peanut butter, I don't know. And then we see her checking in with Mr. Hart and asking if he has read that report she wrote recently. She's come up with a new idea to increase the efficiency of the office by 20% if they start color coding things, which you know he appreciates efficiency. So sounds like something that would be important. But he kind of blows it off like he hasn't read the report yet, whatever. Next thing we know, though, the next guy above Mr. Hart, that guy, I think it's Hinkle or something, Mr. Hinkle, is congratulating Hart and saying, that was such a great idea you had. Basically, Mr. Hart presented that color coordination idea that Violet had as his own, and he got the credit for it. And that, of course, pisses her off, as it should. She's so upset about it. And Mr. Hart is like saying it, like getting the praise right in front of her.
Yeah.
Had every chance to be like, you know, it was Violet that did that, or she was the one that did the work that took
He's
the
like
credit.
completely shameless. He's like, oh, thank you. I worked really hard.
And then it's really cute. The next scene, she's talking about her frustrations with her son at home.
This was a very cute scene, yeah.
They're fixing the garage door opener together. It's like her teenage son is with her, and she's complaining, and he's giving like the best advice like a teenage son can have. And he's like, well, Mom, you just gotta relax sometimes. Offers her a little joint and is like, gotta take the edge off. And she's so funny about it because I think it's like her mother maybe stays with the kids normally. And so she's like, don't let your grandma know that we have pot in the house. And she's kind of like, whatever, I don't need that. And then he convinces her to take it with her. So she's like, okay, slip it in my purse. I'll take it, you know. It's just very funny. Little cute interaction.
So cute. And then they like step out and like the other kids are playing basketball in the driveway and they like step out of the garage and push a button and the garage door starts coming down and they're both like, hey, we did it. It's like a very cute, genuine moment.
Next day, Violet learns that she got passed up for that promotion she's been gunning for. It's been given to Bob Enright. This is somebody who she trained. And she's enraged, but she demands to know what happened. And Mr. Hart is like, well, the company is the company. And she's like, that's bullshit. You made the decision. That was your decision for the promotion. Explain to me why you chose him over me. He goes, well, Bob has a degree. And she's like, well, that's great. He's like, and he has a family to support. And she's like, what about me? I also have a family to support. She's on her own doing it. And then he says, the company wants a man in this position. Clients would rather deal with men.
Which we learned is real.
And she has, you know, she says, obviously he says something about that. And he says, spare me the woman's lib crap. Which is, to your point, like that was like women's lib. Oh, what the woke women basically of that time. And there's this funny running bit throughout the whole movie, which is the chair that he sits in is always like broken. It hasn't been fixed yet. So whenever he sits in it, it like jolts him backwards.
It goes like, it like reclines completely instead of just like leaning back.
Just leaning back. That happens in the scenario, and he calls Dora Lee in to come to fix it. And as Dora Lee's coming in, Lily Tomlin, Violet, has this great monologue. She says something like, don't call me your girl anymore. And he's like, what are you talking about? She says, I am a woman, not a girl, not your wife or your mother or your mistress. And she says this as Dora Lee's walking in. And of course, Dora Lee is now walked into this. Now she's like, what? And Violet says, I'm your employee and I demand to be treated equally with a little dignity and a little respect.
Yes, Lily!
And as she's walking out, now we've got Dora Lee involved in here. And she's like, what are you talking about? Why did you think I'm his mistress? And Violet says, Hart's been telling everyone in the office you're sleeping with him. And so she leaves the room and comes out and is leaving the office for the day. And she's heading out, and the office alcoholic,
The old lush.
the old lush goes, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to get a drink. Our office alcoholic goes, atta girl.
Not a girl.
So we have Violet out. Back in the office, Dora Lee angrily is telling off Hart. She's stomping around the room.
She's pissed. She did not know that this was her reputation.
She's pissed. Now she's realizing, because we kind of saw that none of the women were getting too close to her. Yeah.
And she remarks to her husband at night, like, nobody wants to talk to me at work. Like, I'm so nice and nobody likes me. I don't know why. So now she's finding out.
She's finding out why. Yeah, she's telling him off. Says, I've been putting up with this for too long. I need this job. That's why I put up with it. And then she threatens him with the gun in her purse. He says, I have a little gun in my purse and I can shoot it.
I love that. We both gasped. I have a gun.
Gosh.
What did she say? Like, I'll turn you from a rooster to a hen or something?
If you ever come at me again, I will turn you from a rooster to a hen in one shot.
I have a little gun I keep in my purse.
She also leaves and also takes the day off. She is also going to go get a drink. And she tells Roz this, as Roz is now crossing paths with her and going in the other room. We get another atta girl from our old lush in the office. We have Violet out getting drinks. We have Dora Lee out getting drinks. And then the next thing that sets off Judy is she overhears that one of their other coworkers, Maria Delgado, just got fired for talking about her salary. I guess Roz overheard it, which is why she was going to go talk to Mr. Hurt. And this is obviously very upsetting. We see Maria packing up her stuff. She's leaving. This is very upsetting to Judy. She gets really angry and is like, we need to tell Violet. Does Violet know what's going on? And everyone's like, well, Violet's not here. She's down at Charlie's. And so Judy heads off to Charlie's.
Fired up about this, too. She's, like, very pissed right off.
This is a big injustice. And obviously she hasn't been in I think she has the benefit of having an outside perspective of, like, this is not fair. Like, this can't be happening. Whereas everyone else is kind of like, this is what happens. Maria Delgado herself is like, it's okay, I can find another job. Like, I wanted to be home with my kids more anyway. Judy finds this a real injustice, wants to go talk to Violet about it. So she also now heads down to Charlie's, and now we get Violet, Dora Lee, and Judy all hanging out in the bar at Charlie's. The three of them are like slouched over on the bar with their cute little cocktails, feeling pretty hopeless, pretty like there's nothing they can do. Judy's like, what if we just go and complain? And they're like, complain to who? There's like literally nothing we can do except for drink and just sit here and vent about it. Violet pulls out the little marijuana joint, they call it a marijuana cigarette. And she goes, I got it. You guys, let's take this into the bathroom. Let's go smoke this. And they are kind of like resistant at first, but she convinces them. She's like, we could have an old-fashioned ladies' pot party.
Ladies' pot party.
Dora Lee thinks it's kind of cute and is like, you guys can come over to my house because her husband's out. He's at a singing gig. And Judy says the cutest little line. She goes, I smoked a marijuana cigarette once at a party. And she says something like, I could never figure out what the big deal was. And then the next scene we cut to Judy just laughing her head off.
This scene, I was like, are they high for real? Like, they were laughing so hard, all of them.
I was curious, too. I thought the same thing. They're just like, they did such a cute job. Like, they're all laughing. I feel like Jane Fonda's eyes look like red rimmed, kind of. Like, it looks pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
And it's really cute. They're really having a good time.
I think they're all sitting like on the floor or on the couch or something. Like they're
Yeah, they're
all
kind of
like
spread out. Someone's on the couch. I think Judy's like on a pillow on the floor. And at some point later, they pull out some barbecue from the fridge and they're like eating. They're having a lovely ladies' pot
ladies'
party.
hot party. Uh-huh.
But they start joking about Hart and they're laughing because Doralee's told them about threatening him with her gun. And that's really making them laugh. And then they asked her if she's ever shot it. And she's like, I have. She pulled it out to be all tough in some interaction and shot a hole through the bottom of her purse. It really freaked me out. That really scared me. Like, oh my gosh. We don't know what we're doing. They talk about how he hunts things because they're now talking about guns. And they're like, I can't believe he hunts like little rabbits and little deers like Bambi. Doralee says, well, I sure like to hunt Hart, chase his little lily white tail through, through the forest or something like that. And that makes Judy laugh so hard. She bends over. She can't contain herself. They ask her what she's laughing about, and she goes, I'm imagining him running and the whole office is out to get him and hunt him down. Which brings us into did not see this coming.
No. We
This
get a
was
little
so
wobbly.
And then all of a sudden we're in like a totally different, like black and white, old movie aesthetic.
A
And
shocking turn.
it's
Shocking.
so funny. So we're about to get the fantasies of all these women. But it starts out with Judy's fantasy of the whole office hunting Mr. Hart. He's running and he runs into his office and Judy turns around in his office chair with a rifle in her lap. It says, looks like you've got yourself in a spot of trouble.
She
The
looks
way
like a
she delivers the
safari,
lines.
like a safari guy.
Yes.
Like got like a hat, like a safari hat.
Safari hat,
And like big
ammo.
tall boots. Uh-huh.
Yeah, ammo around her chest. She's looking so cool. She's imagining herself so suave and cool. He's like, you gotta help me. I don't know why. I'm not such a bad guy. And then she delivers the iconic line, you're a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. Which is like so hard to say.
So hard to say, and I feel like it gets repeated a couple times throughout. the
She
film.
says it first off in this moment. And then to that he says, so I have a few flaws. Who doesn't? And she stands up with her rifle and her hat and everything and goes, you're foul, Hart. A wart on the nose of humanity, and I'm gonna blast it off. Goodbye, boss man. It's quitting time. And then she does this color guard gun trick where she like, you remember?
Spinning.
Spins it, flips it around, gets it ready back to shoot him again, which is so funny. I did think this one was my favorite. I want to know which one was your favorite. This was, I think, my favorite of the fantasies.
Uh-huh.
She counts to 10 and he starts running off and then she runs after him, hunting him. And eventually corners him. He's in the woman's toilet in the stall, like trying to hide from her. And she shoots him. And then we get this funny transition to, like, it goes from a close-up to his face to zooming out, and his face is now the trophy head mounted on the wall of his office. And then it like zooms out really, like zooms that frame really small to, like into a black screen, and
Like
then we're
PowerPoint
back.
presentation.
Yeah. The little edit transitions are so funny. And then we like come back into reality and move into Dora Lee's fantasy. They asked Dora Lee what she would like to do to Hart. And then we get this funny lasso transition, like a lasso, like graphic. Yeah, whips around, grabs the frame, pulls it out, and then we get into her little fantasy, and it's like a Western movie now, and she's riding in to the ranch on her horse in her full, like, Western getup. So cute. She jumps off the horse, runs into his office once more. And this one, to me, kind of felt like an SNL skit when they get, like, a celebrity in to do a bit. So it very much felt like that to me in the most charming way.
Yes, very charming.
Her fantasy is that she treats him the way he's been treating her, give him a taste of his own medicine. So she starts saying all the inappropriate things he's been saying to her, but like in reverse towards him. She's telling him how sexy he looks, how he smells nice, asks him why he doesn't wear the tie she gives him.
And he's like very uncomfortable with all of this.
Very uncomfortable, very resistant. She's telling him to take off his tie, loosen his collar, take off his jacket, like ordering him around in like the inappropriate ways he would do to her. She comes over and is like touching him, hugs his head against her chest so that his face is smushed up against her boobs. And she's like, that wasn't so bad, right? He's like kind of whimpering and not very much resistant, very much saying no with all of his body language. And then she tries to force him to kiss her and all of this. And he's saying, no, I'm married. I won't do this. And he gets up and walks out of the office. And she walks out, and all of a sudden we get, voiceover of kind of like a rodeo, like announcer calling. And she swings her lassos Hart, pulls him down to the ground, and goes over and hog ties him while the rodeo announcer is again, I think he is rattling off like, can she get that sexist egotistical hypocritical bigot or something like that? Hog time, how fast she can do it, And then she gets him all good. And then cuts to like him on a spit roast. I think that's how that one.
And then I think the lasso brings it back.
Then the lasso transition once more. They're laughing, and then they ask Violet what about her fantasy.
I think Violet's was my favorite. Just because it's Lily Tomlin, and this was such a silly predicament for Lily Tomlin to be in, but she was really vamping it up, and I really loved it.
She goes, well, I think I would like to get him in kind of a, sort of like a fairy tale, kind of gruesome and gory, but still kind of cute. And we get this kind of glittery kind of animation style. Cartoon style like transition. And she is in a Snow White looking dress. And then there are actual animated little animals that kind of look like Disney animations. Think like Robin Hood and Bambi, like that era.
It's so crazy.
It's so funny. Birds that fly on her shoulders. She's singing to them.
She's like overdoing the whole thing too. Like her eyes are all wide, and she's like, "Oh wow!"
Hello. These animals follow her into the break room. She makes the coffee, and instead of putting in the skinny and sweet, she tips some poison from her ring, and like the animals bring her a little spoon. She like stirs it, pulls the spoon out, and the spoon has been like melted away. There's clearly poison. I think there's like a cute little animation of like a skull and crossbones.
The smoke comes up and it forms a little skull
out of the smoke. Yeah, brings the coffee in, and then this is so funny because he drinks the coffee. We have like an animated like smoke steam train noise, that comes over as the smoke bursts out of his ears.
Doesn't his head spin around in a circle too?
You're right. His head spins around. He's like, I think the coffee's been poisoned. And she's like, yes, it has. But the poison doesn't kill him. The chair does, because she like turns the chair around and like winches it and opens the windows and launches him out the windows.
I didn't even think about the fact that the poison doesn't kill him. Yeah, she tosses him out the window.
Oh, and then it ends with all three of the women in princess wear and clinking goblets.
My God, this was my favorite. My dream Ren Fair outfit. One of them has, I think Dolly Parton has like the cone with like the little fabric that comes off of it, and then one of them has like the two cones with like the fabric like draped over it, and like it's Robin Hood. This is like Maid Marian.
But yeah, that is the end of their fantasies. They're giggling, their little stoned night in. Next morning, they're back to work. They're coming in though, and this time they're all friends. This evening has brought them together. Mm-hmm. They come in giggling. We got to do that again sometime. Violet can't do it tonight. She has too much to do. First thing, though, she needs to go buy some stuff. She has to run some errands earlier today. So she has to go buy rat poison, amongst other things. I think one other thing we learned is that his wife, is about to leave on a 2-month cruise. Violet has to serve coffee to Mr. Hart, and she accidentally puts the rat poison in instead of the sweet.
They're like the same
skinny and sweet.
box. It's like the
Yes.
same box, but like,
The same color,
yeah.
the same, like it's a yellow box with like a black print on it, and they look
Right.
so similar. She didn't think about it.
We also don't
Everything's gonna be
see her explicitly put the rat poison in the coffee. It's
No,
like you
you're right.
see like the edge of the box and like can't quite see what's written on it, but I feel like we have enough context clues that we're like, which box is that?
Yes.
Like, and it like doesn't like she puts it out of frame and she's like talking and it's like
Yes.
it doesn't show
You're
you,
right.
but you're like, she's putting rat poison in that coffee.
She's putting her rat poison in there. She comes in to bring the coffee. He's just getting off the phone. Something. He's doing some shady type of business with a company called Ajax. She leaves the coffee for him. He picks it up to drink it. But as he does that damn broken chair, he falls back in it and hits his head on the credenza as he goes down trying to drink his coffee. Dora Lee hears what's happened. She runs in. He's been knocked unconscious from hitting his head. So all she sees is his chair turned up and his like feet poking up from behind the desk. She calls an ambulance and goes to the hospital with him.
So Violet, she's they're trying to get drinks again or something. They're gonna leave they're just gonna leave at the same time.
Yeah. But she hears about, or she comes back and Judy is like, he's been sent to the hospital.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
you
She's
missed
like,
it.
oh, thank God you're back. Like, you missed everything. Hart has been taken to the hospital. Dora Lee went with him. And she's like, oh, my God, what happened? She's like, I hope it's nothing too serious, but hopefully it's something that'll keep him out of the office for a couple of days. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want him back here too soon. And they kind of like part ways and we see Violet disappear into the break room and we like don't see her anymore. And we just hear, oh, my God. Which again, Lily Tomlin is so funny. She like comes into the doorway. Oh my God. She runs into Hart's office. Roz is in there. She's like cleaning things up. She's very distraught. And she's like, Roz, like what happened? And she's like, oh, like he's been taken away. My poor Mr. Hart. And she's like, well, what about the coffee? Where's the coffee? And she's like, oh, like here's the mug. It was on the floor with him. And she picks it up and it's empty. And she's like, oh my God. And she's like, he's at the hospital. She drops the mug. She goes running. She meets Judy at the elevator. And she's like, oh my God, I have to tell you something. And the elevator doors close. And then they open. And Judy's like, oh my God. She said, I thought it was skinny and sweet. We have to get to the hospital and tell them what happened so they can pump his stomach. So then we cut to the hospital. Dora Lee is there in the cutest, like powder blue leather trench coat with a fur collar. We see Hart brought into a hospital room and he wakes up and he says, what happened? And the doctor is like, well, looks like I felt like this doctor was a crazy casting choice. Did you feel he was like old and like sloppy kind of like an old sloppy man that doesn't look like a doctor. He's like, yeah, you just hit your head. We're going to want to take you upstairs to get some x-rays just to make sure everything's fine. Hart says he doesn't want an x-ray. He doesn't have time for this. He's fine. And just then another guy gets burst into the same hospital room on like a gurney. And they're like, this guy is in cardiac arrest, like all hands on deck kind of thing. So the sloppy doctor gets distracted and Hart just kind of like gets up and like slides out of the room and leaves. Cut to Judy and Violet pulling up, like screeching in Violet's car. Cut to Hart leaving and nobody sees him leave. Dora Lee doesn't see him leave. But as he's leaving, there's a like cop and like a detective outside of the door of the hospital room he was in. And they're talking to each other and they're like, well, he was our only witness. Like we gotta wait. And so they're talking about the guy that's in cardiac arrest. And he's just kind of like, oh, like straightens his tie and leaves. And so Judy and Violet find Dora Lee. They tell her what happened. Dora Lee was like weirdly kind of calm about this whole thing. Like, she's like, what? Are you guys crazy? But it's like, she's like, you better figure something out. I feel like it's like, again, the like bartender vibe of like, like I've been through some crazy shit and like, we're going to have to handle this kind of thing. So they're like, where is he? She's like, he's in this room right here, and shows them, and they see the cop and the detective outside. And Violet's like, oh my God, the cops are already here. And then the doctor comes out, and the detective's like, how is he? And the doctor's like, he's dead. Looks like it was some kind of poison. And Violet's like, oh. He goes, I'm finished. I'm a murderer. I'm a murderess.
I'm nervous.
So they're trying to talk Violet down. She's like totally like flipping out. And Dorley and Judy, I think they say they're going to talk to a lawyer. They're going to make a phone call.
I don't know why they leave. Yeah, they walk off.
They
leave
leave
her
her
there. And
They
she's
leave her
freaking out.
in the waiting room. And while Violet's waiting, they're like, oh, like I'm finished. She's so freaking out. And out of the room gets wheeled a body on a gurney with like a toe tag covered in a sheet. And it's just like her staring at it down the hall, like side eyeing it. And then the nurse leaves it. So it's unattended in the hallway. And she's like looking around. She gets a crazy idea. We cut to the gurney being sped down the hall, and the music is hijinks, and it is Lily Tomlin pushing the body down the hall, like so panicked, looking everywhere in her little skirt suit. She does not know where she's going, but she's just pushing the body. We see two doctors come in through a door. She like leaves the body in the hall and hides in a closet as they walk by. Once they're gone, she comes out. She's now wearing a doctor coat. This part's so funny. She's like trying to be calm, but she's so like jumpy and ends up exactly where she started. She ends up and she can see Judy and Dorley sitting where she was sitting. So she's like, turns around and a candy striper bumps into her and is like, excuse me, can you tell me where the coffee shop is? And she goes, I'm new here. I don't drink coffee. And she goes, oh, I'm new too. Where do you work? And she goes, downstairs. And she goes, oh, the morgue. And she goes, and like sees the body. And she's like, how did he die? And she goes, coffee. Too much coffee. And then the candy striper's like, oh, you're a doctor. I didn't see your badge. And she goes, yes, I'm a doctor. Why the hell am I talking to you? Like spins around with the body and just leaves. So Judy and Dorley see her. They just see her from like the waist up, so they don't see the body, but they see her go by in a window, like in the coat, scurrying by. Dorley's like, I think that Violet's flipped. She takes the body outside into the parking lot, puts it into her trunk. The music is still so hijinksy. This is a very high energy situation. The two other girls come out. They're like, what the heck are you doing? She's like, get in. They jump in. They don't know there's a body in the trunk.
No.
They peel out. They're like, what are you doing? I feel like I'm always defaulting to the Dolly Parton voice. What are you doing? She says, I can't do an autopsy without a body. And she's speeding. She's running red lights. Judy is trying to like calm the situation down. She's like, we're not criminals. Like, we just have to go back. And Dorley's like, we're criminals now. We stole a body from a hospital. She says, we just stole a corpse from a hospital. Violet's totally flipped. She's panicking. She doesn't have a plan. She turns. They go into an alley and they crash into a dumpster. And now she can't back up because the wheel well is like in the bump or in the tire. So they get out. They're like, great. We need like a crowbar or something. She says, I have a tire iron in the trunk. Dorley goes to get it. She opens the trunk. Of course, we have a body back there. And we see her just like, oh my God, like react to something that we don't see. And then we just see her head pop around the hood and she goes, or around the trunk. And she goes, Judy, could you come back here for a second?
It's so funny.
It's so funny. So Judy wanders back there and she's like, what's going on? And she goes, wait, what? She's like, that's not Hart. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, well, who is it? And she goes, I don't know. And then we see Dorley's head pop back around again. And she goes, Violet, honey, could you come here for a second? And Violet comes back and she goes, "What are you doing? We have got to." Who is that? And this part, I feel like this felt like a stoner comedy to me.
Yes.
Like very much. This is like Pineapple Express. It's like violent and dark, but also like so suspended reality, like so silly, and like they're all fine with there being a dead body in the trunk of
Yeah.
this car. So they pop the thing out, they get the car working, and as they leave this alley, they're like, what they like decide we got to take him back or something. They're like, we gotta take him back to the hospital and figure out what happened to Hart. So they leave, and as they're leaving the alley, we see that their one like hazard light is going and the other one is broken. They're also three across on a bench seat the whole time in the front seat. Which is quite cute. Yeah, they're going back to the hospital. They're going to find out what happened to Hart. We see a motorcycle cop pull out, start following them. His lights go on. They are getting pulled over. Violet says, "What do we do? Do we make a break for it?" And Dora Lee says, "I don't know, but I got my gun," and pulls it out of her purse.
They're all bad ideas. Everything is a bad idea, basically,
So
for this
bad
next
at it.
section. Yeah.
He's whipping out the gun. "I got my gun." The cop comes up to the window and he says, "Can I see your license, please?" And she says, "Why? I wasn't speeding." She's just like being so... Lily Tomlin is so cool in this movie. She's like such a badass. So she says, "Why? I wasn't speeding." And he goes, "No, but your hazards are on. Like, do you have your blinker on?" And she looks at it and she goes, "No." And he goes, "Well, it must be short in the trunk. Like, you want me I can take a look if you pop your trunk real quick." And she says, she's like panicking and looking, and then Dora Lee leans forward and says, "You can't, there's an emergency." And Judy looks at the cop and says, "She's a doctor." And he says, "You're a doctor?" And she looks down at her badge on her lab coat and goes, "What do you think? I'm a beautician?" Like, she's like, has this like attitude. She's like being such a sassy, but she's not even a doctor. Like, "What do you think I am?" And so the cop is like, "Which one of you is sick?" And at the same time, I think Dora Lee says, "I am." And Violet gestures to Judy and says, "She is." And then she says, "They're both sick. She ate rat poison." So he's like, "Oh my gosh, somebody ate rat poison. How did that happen?" And Violet's like, "I've got a dying woman on my hands. You want to take a look in my trunk? Like, we need to get out of here. This is an emergency. We don't have time for this." And he says, "Well, hold on now. Let me get on my bike. I'll give you guys an escort." And Violet says, "Forget it, Mac. We can't wait." And she speeds off and leaves him. And he just lets her go. 1980. So we cut to Judy and Dora Lee are leaving the hospital. They get in the car and they say, "We couldn't find out anything about Hart. They wouldn't tell us anything." And Violet says, "Well, what about the other matter?" And Dora Lee says, "Don't worry about it. It's been taken care of." And then we cut to a cleaning crew, like two women cleaning up the bathrooms. And one woman goes into the bathroom and just sees there is a corpse with the sheet over its head sitting up in a wheelchair. And you just see its like purple hand sticking out the bottom. And she sees it and backs up. And she goes, "We got another stiff in the John." And that's the end of that. Nobody got in trouble.
Nobody got in trouble. It's fine.
They got another stiff in the John. Happens all the time. So then we cut to, this is the next day, Hart getting off the elevator. He walks by Judy. She drops a folder. He walks by Violet. She like throws her papers all in the air. Dora Lee is at her typewriter. She freezes and watches him walk by. And then we cut again to them in the bathroom. It's kind of like an overhead shot. I think Violet's smoking and they're like, "Holy shit, like what? Like he's obviously fine." And they're kind of like spilling the beans a bit of like, "I can't believe we got away with it.
Yeah.
That was so crazy. We almost killed him and then we stole a corpse and blah, blah, blah." And like, "I can't believe we got away with it, but he seems fine and he doesn't seem to know anything. So, all right." And then I think Dora Lee is like, "Did you check the stalls for feet?" And Violet's like, "Oh yeah, no, we definitely checked." And then they leave. And as they're leaving, the camera pans over to like over a stall and we see Roz sitting on the toilet with her feet up like against the door and a spool of toilet paper, and she is furiously taking notes with her little lapel pen
Yeah.
on toilet paper. She's written all of this down. They're screwed. We cut to her just showing the notes to Hart. He's like, I can't believe this. We got corpses. We got poison, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's loving this. He loves it. He's got blackmail on these ladies. He doesn't know what he's going to do with it yet, but he loves it. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock. Dorley pops into Hart's office one last time. Says, do you need anything else? I'm heading out. And he's like, yeah, I think I'd like you to come over tonight. And she says, well, sir, it's Friday night. Like, I'm not working tonight. And he goes, no, well, who said anything about working? And she's like, sir, like, I don't understand. In her cutest little Dolly Parton, just being like so nice. And he like goes over to his little mini bar and he's like, Dorley, have you ever heard of strychnine? And she's like, well, sure, that's poison, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, well, they found it in my stomach. She's like, what? I thought you just hit your head. And he's like, well, I had them perform. I had them pump my stomach just in case because you need evidence if you're going to accuse someone of murder. Like, I'm going to accuse you girls of attempted murder and blah, blah, blah. And he lays the whole thing out. He's like, I know everything that you did, blah, blah, blah. All I have to do is call the police. Dorley, rookie move, is like, it was an accident. She confirms everything. We didn't mean to. Oh, Violet didn't mean to. He tells her if she comes over tonight, he'll forget everything. Otherwise, he's going to call the cops and picks up the phone. And she like rips the phone cord out of his desk. And she says, you are evil, sir. Like, I love people and I never speak ill of people, but you are evil and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, ooh, I love it when you get mad. He's like being such a scumbag.
Oh, yeah.
He goes over to another phone and like picks it up and he's like loving this. He's like laughing. And he's like, oh, well, I'll just pick up this one then. And she picks up this cord, rips it out of the wall and like pushes him down on the couch. And he's like, ooh, what are we doing now? And she starts like her fantasy. She hog ties him with the phone cord. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. Like, this is starting to hurt. Wait a minute. Like, this isn't fun anymore. And she grabs the scarf that he gave her and stuffs it in his mouth. She's like, you stay here for a second till I figure out what to do. And she leaves his office, bumps into Roz. Roz needs to talk to him. She says he is tied up at the moment. Classic. Calls Judy over. She's like, Hart knows everything. He's going to have us arrested. You need to go in there and keep an eye on him. I'm going to go get Violet. So Judy goes in. She sees him all tied up and gagged and is like, oh my God. And tries to explain like, sir, I'm so sorry about what happened. It was an accident. And he's like mumbling with the gag in. So she takes the gag out. He's like, you better like untie me. Like, this hurts. She's like talking to him, telling him how it was all an accident, misunderstanding while she's loosening the bonds. And then he just starts like taking them off and untying himself and standing up. And starts walking across the office. And she's like, you gave me your word. Oh, he says, I won't do anything. Just loosen him.
Yeah.
She says, you gave me your word. And he says, I lied. And goes to pick up the phone to make a call. And this sight gag made me laugh out loud. He picks up the phone. He's like, I lied. And picks up the phone. And the cord just like whips over his shoulder because it's been ripped out of the desk. And he like looks down and is like, oh, but that was unexpected and made me laugh out loud. So she tries to keep him from leaving. She's like, sir, don't do it. Don't do it. And he's like, I'm out of here. You guys are so screwed. You're going to jail. She's like up on his desk and feels Dorley's purse right next to her. And what do we all know is in that purse? Her little gun. She pulls it out. She's like, don't you dare move, sir. She's shaking. She's like, don't you dare move or I'll shoot. And he opens the door and he's like, I'm not scared of you. I'm out of here. You guys are so amateur. And she shoots like 4 shots, busts out the window.
Closes her eyes.
Oh, closes her eyes.
Like, isn't looking, shooting.
Starts shooting, busts out the whole like frosted glass window that's next to the door. And then we see Violet and Dorley in the frame going, oh my God, like, what did you do? And then we cut to, again, them 3 across again in the car. We've got the hijinks music going again. They're like looking at each other. They are taking Hart to his house, which is apparently like in the country. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's this beautiful big, beautiful house. He's sitting on the bed. He's like, you guys are never going to get away with this. Judy's like, how do we keep him from talking? Now they're later in the kitchen. Like, how do we keep him from talking? Dorley says, well, I say we hire a couple of wranglers to go upstairs and beat the shit out of him. Judy says, if only we could find something on him, maybe we could trade off, like a blackmail situation. And she's like, maybe a sex scandal. And they're all kind of like, who would care? Like, nobody, but we're going to need something better than that. So the next morning, Violet is kind of going through his desk and she says, I think I found something. And it is a account book for the aforementioned Ajax warehouse. She's like, I think if he's up to what I think he's been up to, like, we might have gotten him. So they leave Judy. Dorley and Violet go to the warehouse. There's a very cute scene of them in their like little work clothes, like skulking around outside and like climbing up on boxes to look in the window.
Yeah.
The warehouse is empty. They think he is embezzling. He says you'll never be able to prove it. Violet says, I'm going to order the invoices from the head office on Monday. I think Judy says, if we're going to keep him tied up for 3 or 4 days, we've got to devise a better system of confinement. And at this point, I think you and I were both like, 3 or 4 days? Like, they're going to keep him locked up for this long? This is insane.
We were also like, I think right before this, there was like 40 minutes. Like, we had no idea where this was going.
No idea where this is
like,
going.
after they dropped the body off, I think there was like 40 minutes left or something.
Yeah,
and
we're
were
barely
like,
past the
"What's
halfway
next?"
point. Yeah.
Yeah. And
No
so
idea.
then this turn of events where they're like keeping him locked up while they figure out what to do.
Figure out what they're doing. There's like a montage of them buying things that we don't know what they're for. We have Dolly like getting measuring chain length with her arm. And Violet's getting like hooks off of a wall.
Yeah.
Buying something called a butch collar.
It's so
like
funny.
it's like on a dog cardboard cutout, but it's like a classic like leather daddy, like leather collar with spikes on it. And they get like a harness that I think is for like paragliding or something. And then we cut to him in his getup, and it's like he's in the harness, and then he just has like chains like draped across him. He has the leather daddy necklace on. He has like leather cuffs on his hands and feet that I think are maybe the chains connect. It's insane. On top of his like suit, I think. They're gonna take turns watching him in shifts. He says, for Christ's sake, I'm the boss. Don't you think I'll be missed? And then we cut to them at the office. Nobody misses him. Everybody's doing their job. People are coming to Violet for her advice on things. Dorley is just saying like, oh, he's not here. Can I take a message? And nobody cares. Roz is the only one that cares that he's not missed. She really wants to see him. Dorley keeps putting her off, and she is the only one that's like, this is highly irregular. But Dorley has set it up so that it looks like he just left. So she's like, oh yeah, he's in there. You can go talk to him. And she goes and is like, he's not in there. And she's like, what? That's so funny. And like goes out and is like, well, he didn't go to lunch. His jacket's still here. And oh, I told him 1,000 times not to leave a lit cigar in the ashtray. Like, this could start a fire, and like puts it out. So they're doing a little ruse. Violet is acting as like head of office. We're going to do a bunch of cuts now back and forth to like the Hart tied up and back at the office. Hart has broken off a piece of a chair and is holding it behind his back. He's sitting on the bed, holding it behind his back. Dorley comes in to give him his supper. She's like, where's that chair that was over there? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So she like comes over to put his dinner down on the desk. He stands up with the leg of the chair. He's going to hit her, and she and picks up a device from the dresser, pushes a button. The thing he's adhered to is a garage door opener. It zips him back up to the ceiling. He is now dangling from the ceiling. It is so hijinksy. I think this is like in fast forward too. It's like,
Yeah.
and she is delighted. She thinks it's so funny. Then we cut to they're chatting again. Head office has been delayed. They won't be able to send the invoices for another 4 to 6 weeks, over a month, they are going to continue doing this. My jaw was on the floor. A month.
So insane.
They're
And this
like,
is like, it's so funny because it's like,
they didn't have to make it a month. I feel like
no,
that's crazy.
it's so insane. I'm like, this feels crazy. But maybe that was realistic because they also had like a room full of people doing like literal paper filing, which we now do.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, they're like, Roz is the only one. We got to figure something out with Roz. They come up with the plan to send her to a language conference. We can tell her it's like a junior executive program. And Dorley's like, she'll do anything if she thinks Hart wants her to do it. So we get our first Dorley signing Hart's signature on a memo. And then we cut to Roz on a plane going, bonjour, 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 with her little bob she's practicing. Dorley is saying, that was too easy. While we're at it, we might as well let people keep flowers on their desks. And the rules around here are so depressing. Like, let's do some other stuff. So then we have a montage, a very fun montage of Dorley signing off memos. We have plants and flowers allowed on desks now, pictures allowed on, like, personal effects allowed on desks. People are like a lot happier in the office. Then Violet says, let's make some changes that really count. Now we are seeing some memos getting posted up that say something about a new salary policy, a daycare center, part-time work. We cut to, it was a very funny cut, Hart sitting on the edge of the bed watching. You can hear the Days of Our Lives theme song playing. He's just sitting there watching Days of Our Lives. We show two girls like trading off a debt, like they're sharing a desk. The lockers are being painted. We cut to a man who, did we meet this man in the beginning? He's like taking notes on things. On things that are being done. We cut back to Hart in his bathroom. He sees in the mirror reflected against the back of a drawer that is open. A nail file is like slid in there and they didn't see it when they cleaned out. So he finds it. He starts trying to get himself out. And then we see Dorley leaving, feeding him at this time. She drives the cutest gold mini truck I have ever seen. It's like a bronze gold tiny pickup truck. It's so cute. And then we see someone is watching her leave. So it is now nighttime at the house. Hart is almost free from his cuff. Judy is there alone in a nightgown, and we see someone is watching her through the window. She is like taking a book from the library and turns, sees him, screams. It's her ex-husband?
Yeah, this was so weird. Yes.
She lets him in. He says, thanks, it's cold out there. She says she's house sitting for a friend and that she's alone. He says he knows because he's been casing the house for a couple days to make sure. I'm still confused why this was a part of the story.
Yeah.
We were like, is he a private detective? Like, what?
This felt so like the Green Knight, how we're like, they just left everything in. The full length of the shots, all of the scenes, nothing was cut. That's what this felt like, especially this scene where it was like
that was an idea someone had.
What was the idea? And let's just keep it because we shot it, so keep it in there. Let's have her husband return.
Maybe this logic made sense in 1980, but I've been watching you for a couple days to make sure you weren't dating. What? Totally bizarre.
He was, the way he said it was more like he was hired to see if something was up with this guy. But if he knows she's there, it's so bizarre.
And it's also a character that we were introduced to so briefly, so long ago that it's if she hadn't been Dick, my ex-husband, I wouldn't have recognized him.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we were supposed to imagine that he had the same sort of job that would have a bunch of secretaries and a bunch of people doing all his filing. But if he's a detective, it just feels like a weirder scenario. To me, it just felt like more of a setup for her to have a little bit of a stand up for herself.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But he could have like knocked on the door. I don't know. Upstairs, we see Hart get his arm free. He knocks a lamp off the desk. When he does that, it kathunks. She's like, oh, that's the cat. Let me go check it out.
Yeah.
So Hart gets onto a chair and he's like trying to get himself free from the garage door opener that they have wired to the ceiling. She walks in, sees what he's doing, pushes the button. He goes zipping up like by his back. He's hanging from the harness, the chains. They're fighting. She's like hitting him with a pillow. It's very silly. She, I think, stuffs something in his mouth and gets some more cord and is like tying up his hands again, ties them to like the leg of the bed, which is smart. Dick is coming up the stairs just as she like puts the gag in his mouth. She closes the door. He says, who's in that room? She says, nobody. And he goes, oh, I heard somebody in there, and opens the door and goes, good God. And she like closes the door again and he goes, so that's what you're into now, bondage. And she says, what's that? And he goes, bondage, S&M, sex games. She says, that's right, all of it. I'm into everything. Now get out of here. So that he's like leaving, she's like shooing him out and he's scolding her and he's like, who is that? And she's like, he's my boss. And he's like, oh, great, you're having an affair with your boss. Like, how low? And she's like, that's exactly what you did, blah, blah, blah. And she says, we're divorced. I can do whatever I want. If I want to have an affair, play sex games, or do M&Ms, you can't tell me what to do. I smoke pot. Hit the road, Buster.
Do M&Ms.
If I do M&Ms. And that was another line that in that documentary, Lily Tomlin was like, I thought that was the corniest thing I'd ever heard. And then like watching it in a theater, she was like, everyone was like losing their minds. They thought it was so funny. So
I thought that one was
quite funny.
I did think that was funny.
So now we cut back to, they are in the kitchen of the house. They've got a big calendar. They're mapping out crossing days off. The invoices are going to be here in 3 days. It's been 4 weeks. Maybe they're not at the house because we have a taxi pulling up and out steps the wife in the cutest little like Tahitian straw woven little like bowler hat. It was so cute with like a little like weed stick sticking out the top. She has a bunch of lays on. She's so excited. She's home early. She goes upstairs. She's like, Frank. She walks in the bedroom and it's empty. And then a second later, he walks out of the bathroom still all tied up and brushing his teeth and has like toothpaste coming out of his mouth and just like stares at her. So then we cut to a like faraway shot of a bunch of balconies from a hotel. And it's the wife as we're like slowly panning in. She's calling Dorley and thanking her for the flowers, which I feel like I'm so like jaded from, I don't know, any other movie but this one, where I'm like, oh, she's like being a bitch. Like she knows something or something. Like she's like taunting her. So she's like, Dorley, I thought I should just call you to thank you for the flowers you sent me while I was on my trip. Like I know now that like that would have had to have been you. I came back early. And Dorley's like, what? You're home early? But she's not being a bitch. She's just calling to say thank you for the flowers.
Yes. Genuinely.
She says, I'm home early. Frank's sent me to a hotel for a couple of days. He's up to some exercise program at home. You wouldn't believe what he's up to at the house. And so Dorley calls Violet. She's like, this is what just happened. She's home. She got home 3 days ago. Violet says, if he's up to what I think he's up to, we've been had. So they call Judy, who's at the house. Judy says, no, he's still here. He's tied up. Dorley's like, or he's pretending, like, you still have my gun. So, like, keep your wits about you. We're going to be there soon. We just have to make it stop real quick. They go to the warehouse again, up on the boxes, look in the window. There's people there unloading like pallets of stuff. Yeah. The warehouse is now full. It was empty. So they get to the house. They're like, Judy, where are you? She comes out of the kitchen. Hart is there. He's got the gun. He's like taking the three of them kind of hostage to the office. They're walking to the elevator. He says, where's the time clock? Like the punch-in clock. And they say, while you were away, we made a few changes. So elevator opens, we go into the office. The decor is totally different. It's now like bright and cheerful. People are happy. I feel like it made a point to show during this part a man in a wheelchair. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Like wheeling
Yes, you're
himself up an
right.
aisle and then like hopping into a chair at a
I do
desk. And I
remember.
feel like that was like a very intentional, like they were saying, like diversity in casting, which I thought was cool. And he says, what is anybody doing here? It's not even 9. And they say it's flexible hours. People set their own time. People like it. There's less absenteeism. Oh, so at this point, he only has Doralee and Judy. Violet arrives on her own and gets the invoices. She meets them in his office and throws them on the desk and is like, these are worthless now. Because he's put the missing equipment into the warehouse. And he's like, yeah, it was pretty expensive correcting that, but now you guys have nothing. And they say, what do you want? And he says, I'm going to send you bitches to jail, which was jarring. Hart gets a call in his office and he says, holy shit, Tinsworthy's here, chairman of the board. And he's here to meet with Hart. And we see a portrait of a man, an oil painting. And then we see the elevators open and there's like a bunch of men with one man in the middle that looks like Colonel Sanders.
Yes. Another reason why I think this is like in the South somewhere.
This is the
Yeah.
South. Hart is terrified. He's never met Tinsworthy. He says, Violet, you need to stand by me for this. Like all of a sudden he needs her again. And Tinsworthy approaches him. He says, Frank Hart, boy, I would like to shake your hand. This division has had 20% rise in productivity over 6 weeks. That makes me want to meet the man responsible. And Hart's like, oh, yeah, yes, that's me. Like, whoa, shaking his hand, like a little flustered, but definitely taking credit. And Tinsworthy says, you keep your crew happy and you can't go wrong. Like, you know that, I know that. He wants to know about the other initiatives like job sharing. And he's like, yes, that is an initiative. And kind of turns to Violet and is like, would you like to? He's like, this is Violet. She's pretty much my right arm around here. And like, she can probably do a better job than I can of explaining job sharing. So she's like, absolutely, sir. Let me explain it. It's like essentially 2 workers share a job and make it part-time. So they like swap in. And Hart's like, what? We're doing what? But she's like, yeah, it's been like really successful. The daycare center, like we set that up for working parents and like that's been a huge success as well. And Tinsworthy's like, yeah, I really like that. Like I helped set that up during the war. I'm glad to see you brought it back. Let's go check out the daycare. And it's very funny. Hart's like, yes, absolutely. And goes to walk one way and then everybody else starts walking the other way. And he's like, and like swivels back around because he doesn't know where the daycare is. You go to the daycare. Why is this man holding a child?
Everyone's passing a child around. We were so concerned.
He's sitting like a bucket. Like he's holding her, like her back is against him and then her legs come up over his, like he's holding her out. It's very unnatural.
It's like one, clearly you've never held a
Never
child.
held a
before.
child.
Let's not do it today
We
in
don't.
this film.
Oh, and he passes it to another man.
Passes it
who
to the
holds
older
her the
man.
same way.
This poor child.
Oh, I forgot. While they're on their way to the daycare, a woman stops by and is like, "Oh, like Mr. Hart, so good to see you." Blah blah blah, and walks away. And he's like, "Who was that?" And they go, "That's Margaret Foster, the old lush. But thanks to the Alcoholics Rehab Center you've started, she's doing great." And she looked all like put together, unrecognizable. So yeah, they're in the daycare. He's holding the child, talking about how great this is. And then this is like a direct thing from the documentary. He like leans in. He's like, you're doing so great. I love all of this. And then leans into Hart and says, the equal pay thing, though, that's got to go. That's all right as an incentive, but we don't need to keep priming the pump. So I feel like that was like a little jab at like.
Yeah, that was the one thing that felt very grounded in reality. Because like everything else was like, this is so fun. Like, look at how much they've done to make this office
like, slow down.
workable place. And then they like, leaving that in felt so intentional.
Yeah,
like,
very
we're not going to
funny.
do that though.
So he loves what Hart has done so much. He is going to reward him by offering him a position in their new location in Brazil. He wants him to start right away. And Hart's like, Brazil? And he's like, this is an opportunity. Like, I'm not a man that's in the habit of taking no for an answer. Like, he's getting kind of a taste of his own medicine here. He's like, I don't know about that. And he's like, come on, 2 or 3 years there, you'll never want to come back. And he goes, 2 or 3 years? And then ding, the elevator closes on him. Hilarious. 3 of them are in his office. Judy, Violet, and Dorley, they have a bottle of champagne. They pop the bottle. They say, "We did it. We pulled it off. Tinsworthy loved everything except for the money. What are we going to do about that?" And Violet says, "Hey, we've come this far. This is just the beginning. And here's to the beginning." And they all cheers. And Roz walks in her little beret and goes, "Holy merd." And then we get like the freeze frame on the 3 of them laughing. And then it does a very fun, like all black, but a circle on Violet's face. And we get the little post. Like, here's what everyone's up to. It says, "Violet was promoted to vice president due to her ability to keep calm in a crisis." And then it cuts to her wheeling the corpse down the hallway.
This is pretty funny.
And then it goes, the circle goes to Judy, and it says, "Judy fell in love with and married the Xerox rep." And then it cuts to her in the paper room with the paper flying everywhere. And then it goes to Dorley, and it says, "Dorley quit and became a country and western singer, of course." And then cuts to her doing a little lasso. And then it shows Franklin, and it says, "Franklin Hart was abducted by a tribe of the Amazon and was never heard from again." And then the song 9 to 5 kicks in. Working 9 to 5. And then we get the credits. What fun, and not at all what I was expecting that movie to be at all.
No, but so funny.
So funny.
Just goes to show that the only way to get any change around the office is kidnapping, violence, kidnapping, stealing a body, putting it back, getting your boss's body, locking it in his own home for 4 to 6 weeks.
For 4 to 6 weeks.
While you get shit done. Mm-hmm. Let him get the credit for it and get sent off to Brazil.
He gets promoted out of the office.
The only way. This is unfortunately the modern workplace.
Mm-hmm. It was so fun, and I feel like it took a second to get used to, because I feel like seeing older movies in like a specific tone like this is like an adjustment a little bit. Like, I feel like you're so used to seeing old movies as like a little bit like, I don't, and maybe not, like maybe that's like the fun of like this project and this podcast is I feel like there have been so many movies that we feel that way about, like Clute, where we're like hearing them speak. It's like today. It's like, it's not that different. And I feel like hearing like the way that they tried to like circumnavigate like issues and like make them easier to digest and like make it palatable to like a male audience as well. And then, but also dealing with things that were like very real and very like serious and topical. I don't know. It's just like very cool to see how many moving pieces were happening with this movie. And like that Dolly Parton took it, even though she was like a little worried that people were gonna be like feel some type of way about her working with Jane Fonda, who was this like revolutionary at the time.
Yeah, it's fun. I do think we're always surprised by these older movies in one way or another. Those 3 women really obviously did a lot of carrying how much
so good,
the goodness of it. I love that Lily Tomlin was like, some of it's too silly. I do think there's a little bit like, okay.
Yeah,
but
it was pretty silly.
It was a little too silly, but do you think it's so funny in the retelling of it? Like, it's, which is probably, again, that stoner comedy kind of like, them getting caught up in these funny things, and it's like funnier. The idea of it is what is so funny.
Yeah.
Even though it's like kind of like in your face, like,
farcical. It reminds me a little bit of like Gene Wilder movies, like Blazing Saddles. There's this very niche movie that it's also interesting to see movies like this for the first time as an adult, like where you don't have any of that stuff attached to it. Like, I feel like that's a very interesting perspective to come at it with. But there is an older Gene Wilder movie that for some reason my family owned when I was young that I've seen a million times, called Silver Streak, where it's like a train crime comedy, like hijinks. Yeah, I feel like their comedic performances really made it like That's what pulled it off, I feel like,
Yeah.
is like their performances.
Yeah. I feel like there's that like type of movie. If you get the right people and put them in these absurd circumstances, people will have a good time with the
Right.
movie.
Which, I mean, it helped that this movie was cast before it was even written. I feel like that
Yeah.
helped
Yeah.
that sentiment. But yeah, I feel like I could just watch. I mean, Dolly Parton is a dream, and I feel like Jane Fonda is like has been that bitch her whole life. She's so cool. And then I could just watch Lily Tomlin do anything. I find her so funny, and I feel like we got to add a lot more Lily Tomlin movies
Yeah, we
to our
should find
list.
more of her films. She was
We
a
have that
delight.
one with her and Bette Midler where they're like twins separated at birth. Remember I sent you that clip where they're
Yes.
seeing each other for the first time? She's
I
like,
forgot
"Whoa,
she's-
whoa."
Wait, let's put that on there. That would be so fun to watch. Yeah. I'll have
It's
more
just
of
like
her.
so over the top. It's so funny. But I loved it. I thought this was super weird. Very different than I was expecting, but really fun. And I'm like glad to know all that other
Yeah.
background stuff too. I feel like
That
that
was
made it make a
fascinating.
lot more sense to me.
So, what's next? We have movie number 2 in the series
Movie
coming up.
number 2 in this series, we are going to go with a new movie, Forbidden Fruits. Just came out this year. Who is in it besides Betty from Riverdale? It's directed by Meredith Alloway and starring Lily Reinhart, that is Betty from Riverdale. Lola Tung from The Summer I Turned Pretty, Victoria Pedretti, and Alexandra Shipp. And I have seen some trailers. This looks really campy and like it might be stupid, but the editing of the trailer totally got me. And I was like, well, that looks fun.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I think we were both like, well, that's for the podcast.
That's for us.
sure. That's for that movie is for us. Yes.
So we will be watching Forbidden Fruits next. Can't wait. We'll see you guys next time. 3, 2, 1. Bye.